Prince Harry says he wants his brother and father back in his life. In an interview with ITV, independent television over in Britain, Harry says, quote, "It never needed to be this way. The leaking and the get my father back, I would like to have my brother back," end quote. Nigel Farage is with us. All right off the top, do you think there's any chance of reconciliation, Nigel?
Not at this stage, no, of course there isn't. I mean, Harry also said that they've made no chance, no opportunity for us to reconcile. But you know, all throughout human history, reconciliation can only come with the cessation of hostilities. And he constantly is firing attacks at them. Not until he stops can they actually have a conversation. Now, British public opinion is moving very rapidly on this. In fact, there's now a clear majority want the King to strip Harry of his titles. I mean, that's how angry a majority of the British public are. Ultimately, Charles is a very compassionate and a very caring man. Of that, there can be no doubt. And at some point in the future, he may well accept his son back, but it isn't going to happen now.
I wanted to look at this for a second. Prince Harry is explaining why he has not stepped out of the limelight. Roll tape.
Every single time I've tried to do it privately, there have been briefings and leakings and planting stories against me and my wife. You know, the family motto is never complain, never explain. It's just a motto. And in the bottom of it, they will say that they've reached out to Buckingham Palace for comment. But the whole story is Buckingham Palace commenting. So when we're being told for the last 6 years, we can't put a statement out to protect you, but you do it for other members of the family, there becomes a point when silence is betrayal.
Silence is betrayal. What do you make of that, Nigel?
But he's obviously got a very good PR firm. He's not bright enough to think of that himself, I can promise you. I mean, this guy was helped through school, he was helped through the army, he's not the brightest creature on earth, and yet all he's done to those that have helped him, frankly, is to throw sand in their eyes. Look, let's face it, the reason he's not going quietly is because he's earning tens of millions of dollars to speak. It's as simple as that. It began with Oprah Winfrey, we ran through Netflix, we've now got this book coming out, the two big blockbuster interviews coming out at the weekend. No doubt Meghan is following up with a book fairly shortly, and it looks like they will have raked in $100 million. And the price of it is to damage the reputation of the British royal family all over the world, and in fact to have made his grandmother, the late Queen's last 2 years, as difficult as he possibly could. I know we should always say there are two sides to an argument, but there is no question this man was born to very, very great privilege, but with that privilege came a duty, and he has chosen to turn his back on that duty. He says, I want a family, not an institution. Well, you know, to some extent, we're all products of where we're born. We choose our lives, we choose where we go. This guy has not only turned his back on his duty, not just by the way to the royal family, but to the British Army regiments in which he held senior position. And I think it's now appropriate that he's stripped of all titles. Wow. And I hope he stays in America.
I'm coming up on a hard break, Nigel, but look, thanks very much for being with us. It's a compelling story. Yes, it is. All right. More Varney next.